welcome to a new episode of our program On the Hot Seat. Today we have a very exclusive and interesting episode. We're going to be talking to a man who has a long history in so many fields. I would like to call him a walking encyclopedia because there is indeed so many aspects of Egypt that he has more of an idea about, and that he could shed light on many of the cases and the situation that Egypt is going through. Much delighted to have joining me here for this exclusive interview, Dr. Ali El Saman. He has several titles. Not only is he a prominent thinker, he was also the ex-advisor of President Anwar Sadat, and he is the president of the International Organization for Culture and Religion. Thank you very much for your time, Doctor.
Thank you.
Doctor, there's so much that we want to know from you about what is going on in Egypt. But let me start with the last stop, and that is the current status of Egypt under the presidency of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. How can you evaluate over a year of his presidency? So many occasions the president spoke about so many important issues in Egypt and the problems that are. What can you tell us?
First, there are not a lot of years. It's just one for him. And when I underline 1 year, it is to be understanding for the task he had, and to be patient and to give him the chance to succeed. I want to say to you about the final success of President Sisi. I'm sure and I have no doubt about it. The problem that the heritage is very heavy. A lot of problems waited for years to find a solution. Economics, you can say education, and. For me, I don't know why I underline the most important problem. If it is not, if I can call it a drama, the education. When the education is going badly, a lot of things can go badly. So the level of education pushed me sometimes to say, those who are in charge, students, are badly in need for education. And so that when you speak about education, that's a long-term reform. We need long-term to prepare, to give a new approach, and to have also, if I say, it's not enough to say the teacher, also the public must have his point of view, and to push and to cooperate and so on. And when we go to another topic, it is a fact that in our life is, and we must say, very difficult and complicated. When we say prices are going up and up. And also we say that when we go to economics, it's not easy, I know that. But we are badly in need in our community to say that there are businessmen ready to help. And that's important. Not only by their money, but by their thoughts, because they know how to handle problems. Also, when we speak about economics, we must also have a sort of culture and education of economics. Economics, it cannot be dealt by words. No, we must know how to put the words in their place and how to use it. If I say that there is a third problem, I don't want to make of that a big philosophy, but really we can say we are badly in need for ethics. Ethics are badly needed now. When you go, I never can go to attack the youth, but the youth are badly in need for the education, of ethics that need to be educated. And if we shall not go to all that, we shall lose a lot of time. And we shall lose what's more important is the future of these youth, when to arrive to realize their target.
Yes, now, Doctor, you have, tackled very important, sensitive, true problems that are in the back of Egyptian society. Reform and the different things you've mentioned, whether it is ethics, education, or even the continuous increase of prices. This again makes me want to ask you, as a person who have lived in different political eras of Egypt, back where you were also the ex-advisor of the late President Anwar Sadat, how has Egypt changed? How has the picture become very different? Speaking of youth, when we always talk to youth, they say, well, Egypt used to be one day leading, education, leading fashions, leading in culture, leading in ethics, and then we see the deteriorating situation that we have reached for the past 40 years almost. What went wrong, and how do you expect this to be, worked out in a very short period of time?
I must say to you frankly, the real problem is the development and what we call the number of have every day new babies, new children. The population is growing madly. And when we say they are growing madly, it's normal. Go to the class. There is not enough teacher. And the teacher shall not have enough time to teach. And so on and so on. So the number, and also the number can have an effect on the economy. I don't know how a government, a state, or the public opinion can create a new concept for population, how to limit it. But I must say to you firmly, that is one of the major problems of our life. And it is very strange. I spoke with the three presidents, Nasser, Sadat, and Mubarak, about this problem. And they felt I was very anxious about that. The answer for me was not very effective. Nasser said to me a very strange answer, to say to me, when I go to Poland and to say stop it, I had the impression that I am including myself in their intimacy, mixing myself in their life. Sadat, he was right to say to me, Ali, let me finish first with the war of October and the battle. That is my priority. Then I can go to Europe. He died early after.
What about
Mubarak
Mubarak? Yeah.
heard, as usual, and say to me, we create problems with the people to say, "Stop, don't do that." I say, I don't ask you to make problems, but to find solutions. The leaders are made for that.
That is very strange indeed. Now let's move on to another. Again, especially after the 2011 revolution and when Egypt went for elections and then came into power, although they have always been, infiltrating into our societies for very long. International Organization for Culture and Religion. How has religion played negatively or positively in the way we perceive politics today and the way we perceive our country today? And it's just as if everything revolves around politics, speaking in the name of religion, whatever it is. But unfortunately, it's always Islam or Islamophobia that is being tabooed from the three. Tell us more about that.
When we speak about religion, I have one point which I think important to underline. When I made my association, religion, but some years later, I insisted to add dialogue of first, because if you have not dialogue of culture, you shall never arrive to make a good work for the dialogue of religion. Culture give you more light, more, if we can say, conscious about the problems. But to go to the fact of life in our days, I must say we are badly in need, really. That those who are in charge of institutions to find a new method, a new word, to speak in a classic way. The classic way, people don't bear it now. So we need new wording and formulation. What do you want to do? To give some new ideas about a very important item, to religion, tolerance.
Doctor, we have seen through the media, as you've said, many people from the newer generation trying to change religious dialogue to sort of, clarify the misunderstandings or the misinterpretations by so many people in the Egyptian community about certain things when it comes to the religion of Islam. Yet, we also saw through the media there have been like a war between the different schools or different generations of thoughts, as you've said. Some people, they're very classic, some people are very rigid, some people are very flexible, some people, they have modern thought because they do believe that time changes and so forth, things do not stay as they are. And then people at the end became very confused, some of them completely brainwashed, some of them confused. Who should be playing the role here in, putting the broad lines and the limitations when it comes to the religious dialogue? Is it the president? Is it the government? Is it the religious institutions? Is it the media? All of them? How does this work?
Now, the president gave the guideline. And I'm sure when he speak about it, it is to say, I want you to be together in peace and so on. But to go to the fact-wise, what to do, that we need the religious institution. But to be aware, as I say to use a new language, and that the wording, tolerance, and so on. And it is like that. But we need, as we say, people who are ready to change the way of speaking.
My final question to you, Doctor. Are there any successful models in neighboring countries that have managed to clarify the negative, wrong depiction or image of Islam and peace and create peace and harmony between the three religions, as we've said earlier? For instance, I recall here the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, who called for a religious dialogue conference in Madrid in Spain back in 2000. Bring together the notion of peace and common ideologies and so forth. Are there any successful models in the neighboring countries that...
First, I'm very happy that you refer to the conference of Madrid, where I was like you there. We came to Saudi Arabia. And to say to you a little story about it, the prince who was in charge of the organization spoke with our man who we regretted. And he said to me, Ali, the Saudis want you to go absolutely to this conference. And not a joke, but he said, what we shall do when we invite, because you remember, they invited all religions and spiritualities, isn't it?
Yes, that's true.
So if by way a rabbi shall meet another man in the corridor of the hotel, how we shall deal with it? And he said to him, I don't know why. We have one only in Egypt who knows how to deal with these people. It's Ali El Saman. So I went. And I remember, and you a big prestige, the man of New York.
Yes.
And he was unhappy with these words. And he protested. And then Prince Faisal and came to say to me, but Omar Salman promised us that you shall help a little bit. I said to him, you know, for these two rabbis, I shall see them in 2 minutes in this place, in this salon here. And I want to see them. You know, the Jews finally like us, they like the humor. I want to see them. I said to them, the king, you remember, Abdullah, organized that for us all to speak the same language, to bring all religions together. So we are not here to destroy what started. Well, they joked and they say to me, Ali, what do you want exactly? I say, to stop fire until the end of the conference.
Take a break for now during...
Yes. And it was done and it succeeded. And And then he made a permanent
Yes.
one. And when I went to shake hands with the king, he said to me, Ali, thank you for all what you made, but I want to ask you what after the conference you want to suggest. I say we must make a second conference to take the conclusion of what we decided here. He said to me, when, where? That is the king. I love his way. I say to him, first Vienna. When? After 3 months. And it was done.
Yes.
And until now, it is one of the main and most important conference of dialogue. So that's a model. Really, they have the right to be proud of what
They have
made.
achieved. Yes. Unfortunately, our time is up for this episode. Are walking encyclopedias. I've mentioned in the beginning. There's so much things more that I wanted to ask you, but I hope that you would give me the honor for a second time again very soon. Thank you very much, Dr. Ali Saman.
Thank you.
He's a thinker. Dr. Ali Saman is also the president of the International Organization for Culture and Religion and the ex-advisor for late President Anwar Sadat. Thank you very much for joining us on the hot seat this week, and we've hoped you had enjoyed this interview.